Hey, what's up, Logic fans? Welcome to our fourth video on section 4.9, and yeah, it's a lot of work, but I really want to take our time going through these relations, and so you can understand what the heck do all these expressions mean. So notice we're building in complexity, and we're adding the negation symbol, right? And the question is how to properly understand the meaning of these expressions, and so. My goal, basically, my strategy is to iterate a bunch of examples, and after you do a few, you're going to pick up on it pretty quickly. But just to make sure it really kicks in, I'm going to go through these. So let's go ahead and start this. And to help us out, what I've done is I've introduced a two-object domain here. So there's two objects, A and B, and L. A bears L to itself, right? So if L is the liking relation, then A likes itself. A does not like B. It's not the case. It's not the case that A likes B, okay? And B does like A, but it's not the case that B likes him or herself, okay? So that's what's going on in this domain, and that's going to help us sort of unpack what's going on here. So question right now is can you translate this into ordinary English, okay? So go ahead and give that a try, and after you've seen a few of them, you can always pause and try the others yourself. Okay, so the first one here would be translated roughly everything everything is such that it does not like everything. Everything does not like everything. Okay, now it's easy to sort of get lost in what this means. So let me, use this domain here as a way of making sure that we really understand the meaning. Everything does not like everything. What this means, okay, is pick anything you like out of your domain. Psst, just A and B is in there. So whether you pick A or whether you pick B, A is going to satisfy this description, and B is going to satisfy this description as well. So A is going to be such that it does not like A, and A is going to be such that it does not like B. Moreover, B is going to be such that it does not like A, and B is going to be such that it does not like itself. Okay, so everything is such that it does not like it. So if this were true, that's what that would mean. But on this domain then, is this statement true or is it false? Okay, so on this domain, it's going to be false, right? Because, for example, we got this plus here and we have this plus here. So, in order for this statement to be true, everything has to, bear not L to everything, okay? So you would have to have minuses across the board in order for this to be true, which we don't have, so it's false on this particular domain. Okay. Let's try this one. Pause now. And I'm just going to go through these in the interest of time, but always pause and try these on your own, okay? So what we notice here is that we've got the Y in this position, so we're going to translate it that way. So we're going to say everything is not liked by everything, okay? So, A is such that it's not liked by A, and it's not liked by B, and B is not liked by A, and B is not liked by B, okay? So once again, on this particular domain, that would be false. These would all have to be negative in order for that to be true, okay? And that's the meaning of the sentence. Let's try this one. At least one thing, not LXY. So at least one thing in our domain does not like at least one thing in our domain. So I'll translate that as something does not like something, okay? Something does not like something. Maybe it doesn't like itself. Maybe it's the other thing it doesn't like. But for some pair, AA, AB, BA, BB, they don't like that thing. Okay, so is that true or false here? Well, as we can see, it's true, right? A doesn't like B. Also, B doesn't like himself, and that would count, right? Even if this was a plus, if these were all pluses and this was a minus, this sentence would still be true. Okay, the only way this sentence could be false is if everything had a plus here, okay? All right, let's go ahead and try this one. Notice the position of Y is in the second relatum position here, so we're going to say something is not liked by something, okay? And that's exactly what that's going to mean. So is that true or false on this particular domain? Well, that's true, right? B is not liked by A. So that works out nicely there. Let's go ahead and try E. Everything is such that there's at least one thing that it does not like. Okay, so everything, that would be anything in our domain A or B. Okay, both A and B are such that there's one thing in the domain they don't like. So A has something in the domain it does not like, namely B, and B has something in the domain it doesn't like, namely itself. So that's going to be true on this particular domain here, okay? And we would translate it something like everything does not like something, okay? Looks something like that. Let's try F here. At least one thing does not like everything. So either A doesn't like itself and it doesn't like B, or B doesn't like itself and doesn't like A. At least one of the two things, A or B, doesn't like everything in there. So we'll translate it roughly, something does not like everything. All right, so let's see, is there something in here that does not like everything? No, there's not, right? So we would need either two minuses here or else two minuses here, and we could have all minuses as well. But, you know, A would have to not like everything, or B would have to not like everything. That does not hold on this particular domain. Therefore, this sentence is in fact false on this particular domain. Okay, G, everything is not liked by at least one thing. So we'll put everything is not liked by something. By something is what I should say. Everything is not liked by something. So is it true that A is not liked by something? Let's see. A is, hold up. No, in fact, A is liked by everything. So A is liked by itself, and in our two-object domain, A is liked by B. So, you know, this sentence is going to be false right there. It says everything, so it has to hold for A, and it also has to hold for B. Just for the sake of practice, let's look at B. Is B not liked by at least one thing? And yeah, as a matter of fact, B is not liked by A, and B is not liked by B. B is not liked by everything, okay? So in this particular domain, though, this sentence, everything is not liked by at least one thing, is false because A is liked by at least one thing, okay? Pardon me, rather A is liked by everything, okay? So that's what I meant. All right. Let's do H. At least one thing is not liked by everything. So we'll do something is not liked by everything, right? So either A or B has to be not liked by everything. That is, by itself and by everything else. So let's check the object A. Is A such that it is not liked by everything? Well, it's liked by itself, so it's not going to hold for A. What about B? Is B not liked by everything? Well, B is not liked by A, and B is not liked by B. So this particular proposition turns out to be true on this particular domain, and the object B is the object that makes it true there. Okay, let's try these ones where the negation is all the way out here. So let me set us up. Okay, so let's start with I here. Now, here's a little trick for this, okay? Every single one of these here, I through P, okay? These guys here, these are all negations, right? If you were to build these sentences up from the ground up, right, you would use the negation rule QS3 last in every single one of them, okay? So these are all negations. These are all the form not P, where in this case, P is like this whole thing right here, okay? So what we can do for each of these is we can cheat a little and make our lives a lot easier just by picturing this gone. Suppose it's not there, right? If that's not there and this sentence turns out to be true, then when we add the negation in, this sentence with the negation is going to be false. Similarly, if I picture this not here and this sentence turns out to be false, then with the negation, this whole sentence is going to turn out to be true, right? So I can sort of cheat and imagine this without the pesky leading negation, and that's going to be our strategy. So let's evaluate this sentence right here. This sentence says everything likes everything. Well, A likes himself, but he doesn't like B, so it's false right there. Okay, so this sentence is false on this domain, and therefore this sentence is going to be true on this domain. It's not the case that everything loves everything, right? And so that's how we're going to translate it as well. It is not the case that everything loves or likes everything. Okay, that's not true. All right, and that's exactly how we're going to do it. So you should be able to pause now and run through these ones faster with this little forget the leading negation trick, okay? So let's do this one together, all right? And again, I'm picturing it here without the leading negation. So this says everything is loved by everything. Notice the Y is in the second position here. So I'm going to put, it is not the case that everything is loved by everything, right? And guess what? That turns out to be true on this sentence. So B is not loved by everything, right? B is not loved by A, and B is not loved by itself. So this turns out to be a true statement, J, on this particular domain, okay? All right, let's picture this one without the leading negation. Something loves something. Well, A loves himself, or A likes himself. Also, B likes A. So something without the leading negation, something loves something, turns out to be true on this domain, and therefore with the leading negation turns out to be false on this domain. It's not the case that something loves something. And I apologize, I've moved from likes to loved. You know, this is the liking relation or the loving relation, okay? Just to make it more concrete for you. All right, L. Let's see here. What do we have? We've got, it's not the case that something is loved by something. So let's get our translation. It is not the case that something is loved by something. And once again, you know, if this leading negation is bothering you, let's just picture it without it, okay? Without it, what do we get? Something is loved by something. Well, that's true. A is loved by A is loved by B. So with the leading negation, that's going to be false on this particular domain of discourse. Okay? All right, I hope this is helping you really sort of understand. We're just going to keep iterating it to get you that confidence, okay? Here, once again, right, let's go ahead and try this without the leading negation. So everything loves at least one thing. So this says, with the leading negation, it is not the case that, so that's the leading negation, and then let's just look at this part here. Everything loves something, okay? So let's go ahead and try this without the leading negation and evaluate the truth value on this particular domain. Everything loves at least one thing. Well, that's true for A. Does B love at least one thing? Yep, so everything loves at least one thing is true, and therefore when we put the leading negation on there, it's false on this domain. Okay, it's not the case that everything loves at least one thing. All right, let's go ahead and try N here. Ignoring the leading negation, we've got something loves everything. So I'll put something loves everything. And then, of course, with the leading negation, we've got it is not the case that in front of there, okay? So let's evaluate truth value to make sure you're understanding it. This says, without the leading negation, something loves everything. Well, does A love everything? No. Does B love everything? No. Therefore, something loves everything is false on this domain, and with the leading negation, this statement is true. Okay? Let's go ahead and try the last two. Pause now. So for O, we've got everything is loved by, okay, at least one thing. Everything is loved by something, and then of course you've got it is not the case that. Okay. And then for P here, what do we have? We've got something is loved by everything. So it's going to be it is not the case that something is loved by everything. Okay. And then we've got to evaluate the truth values. We'll spill on to the next video so we don't run out of time.